was, and I'm not sure how you guys did this, it was quite emotional with the girl who managed to survive, and then there was that guy who's going, look at me when you're shooting me and stuff.
He was good.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that scene was actually much longer in previous versions, and I thought in some ways more effective because it really, like, we had a good group of actors there, and they kind of were able to, because it's such a crazy scene, they had to sort of go off script and sort of just
improvise
and get in the moment and go crazy. And he especially, that actor was great. He played Josh. He was really fantastic. I think it's what a lot of people would do in that situation. But it helped with sort of the mechanics of the game that we had. In that we had our lead character was making a decision, and that decision was going to result in someone living and someone dying, and so that just made the tension and stakes that much higher. And that just kind of came with seeing how people react to the past films and thinking of ways we could make the game traps more emotional and exciting.
Did the idea, the plan for the carousel traps change several times or several screenings? Because did you always have the two in mind that would be saved, or did they keep changing?
What do you mean, like the actual traps themselves?
No,
the two survivors.
Two survivors. Were they already planned, or was it to go through? Or perhaps this person might be innocent after all. I
mean, usually, as we go, we sort of, with scripted who's going to live and who's going to die. I'm trying to think if that's really ever changed depending on performance or anything like that. Not really. It was all pretty much decided once we got in there, who's going to live, who's going to die. I think, yeah. Although, there's been other instances where someone wasn't supposed to die, and then we did kill them. Which is, I think, a bargaining, leverage tactic that the producers take, that they can always kill people off.
Well, when we spoke to Marcus, we were going on about trap ideas for Saw 7. And one of the sort of words that was mentioned was horsepower. Can you sort of shed light a bit more? Yeah.
200 miles per hour?
Well, I think he's probably referring to one trap in particular that is an attempt to rival the carousel trap. It involves several people, and one decision is going to have a chain reaction that affects quite a few people. And it does involve 350 to 400 or so horsepower. I don't know, I would tip my hand too much, but most likely, but I was trying to be like coy on Saw 6, especially on the House of Jigsaw, about the carousel, not knowing that was going to be the poster, and they were going to show almost the entire scene online before the movie came out. So, we have this trap that does involve a car, and it's pretty big, and it's going to be outdoors, and it's going to be it's one of the biggest traps traps games that we've designed, and I think it's going to make it through to production as probably being the biggest and most expensive trap we've done. And and that comes from some reaction of the past 6 films of people wanting to get out of the room a little bit, seeing a little bit more scale and scope, and so this is the result of that.
You mentioned outdoors. Does that mean that sort of like the Jigsaw tape will come over the stereo or something like that while they're driving?
Or 8-track?
Well, yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Possible. That would be a way to do it.
Or are they going to be stationary and then it plays?
Don't want to give too much away, but it could play through the stereo in some way, shape, or form.
But
Dave. The car will move.
The car will move
at some point. Yes.
Will it be by something else being forced into it, or by?
No, the engine will be going the entire time.
Matt, it'll be by magic.
It'll be by magic. It'll be by dream sequence.
Yes, it will.
It'll be by Moto Jigsaw. Yes.
The giant robot at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Then move the car.
A lot of people have been saying that Hoffman. It seems to be like Hoffman is sort of like getting depressed and suicidal.
You know what's not going to help that? His face being ripped off.
No.
So now his face, I would say, his face matches the state of his mind. So he might have a rough go of it in 7. I don't think he's going to be all that steady
bit of the joke
coming out of that room with his face ripped off, knowing that he's also been betrayed by his mentor.
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy.
I mean, does he get it sewn back up or anything?
Sounds a bit like the Joker.
Well, he'll have to do something.
Or even a piece of sellotape, I don't know.
skin graft.
Paint his face white.
Yeah.
Makeup.
Yeah. I mean, Hoffman. You can't tell us if Hoffman dies in 7, of course, but he's obviously going to. Is Jill supposed to be evil at this point now, or is it something else?
I've never thought of her as evil. I've thought of her as this woman who has been through several difficult tragedies, who loved her husband very well. Her husband clearly, he has lost his mind and gone a bit off the deep end, and I think she's just kind of a part of it. And in the sense is that she knows of what's going on. She, the sane normal person would have turned John in right away, but she's kind of blinded by love and doesn't, as we saw in 6, doesn't want this to happen, doesn't want this to go on, asked him to stop, and he seemingly does. So we never thought of her as being an accomplice or anything to that extent, but she was certainly, if this were going to go to a trial, I think she definitely knows about it and allowed it to happen. But no, I don't see her as a replacement to Jigsaw in any way, shape or form. But she knew more than she ever let on.
With like Pamela and the kid and the wife.
Yeah.
There's still like one lever in Pamela's cage that she could technically push down. Does that sort of get rid of them too?
Well, the lever was in the with the kid and the mom, and that only affected William. So Pamela would be alive, and so would those two.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was 2, wasn't there, Dave? There was 2 switches on either side.
There's 2 sprinklers, isn't there?
Yeah.
Two levers.
I could be wrong, but I thought they were the only ones that had the switches.
No, because she had one and she kept on flipping the switch to check.
No, he did. The son.
She had a tape.
But she seemed